Hello. Oh, there we are. Okay. Hi and welcome to today's webinar. Today we are going to talk about the importance of persistence and speed when responding to online leads. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie Gellman, and I am formerly with the Learning Services team, and now I am on the Smart Leads side of things. I see people using the chat function great, and I already have people, looking for people for referrals out there. So you guys are great. You know what you're doing. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Well, a few little tech things before we get started. If you have any issues with your screen, sometimes you just need to refresh your screen. Sometimes if you have too many tabs open, things get a little funny. So, close your other tabs and just focus on this presentation. I'm sure it will be worth it. As you can see in the chat, we have Mike Rebell here from our Learning Services team, and he's going to help out with the chat as well. So if there's questions in there that he can answer, he's going to go for it. Otherwise, I will answer all the questions at the end of the presentation. Okay. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we'll talk about, first of all, what a lead looks like when it comes in through Smart Leads. I'll talk briefly about, what is lead management, a bit about online leads and who are online leads. And then we're going to get into the functionality of things, and we're going to talk about speed and persistence when responding to online leads, and I'll highlight for you some tools that you can use to automate your activity to help you respond faster. Okay, so to start with, when a lead comes in through Smart Leads, the first message that you'll receive, whether it's via email or text, well, email will look like this, text will be a bit more basic. This is the view of the first message you'll receive when you get a lead opportunity. Now, to access further information, you will need to push the blue button that says accept or decline. This button right here. Now, once you push this button, it'll bring you to a countdown. And this will show you how much time you have left to accept the lead before it's either passed to the next agent or sent to the office catch-all, depending on your office's configuration. Now, once you've accepted the lead, you'll be able to see all the lead details, including their name and their contact information, as well as the source URL, so the page from which the lead was generated. In this page, you'll also have the ability to leave a comment about your lead for your lead manager to read. Now, if you had timed out during the countdown, or if you declined the lead, you still have the ability to get back in line, and we call this re-queuing. This means that you'll have a second chance at accepting the lead after it has circulated through other agents first. Okay. So now that we know that, well, what is lead management? Well, I want to talk about lead management, and specifically lead management for online leads. So let's start with a quick definition. Lead management is everything you've done once you've received that lead to capitalize on the opportunity and earn a new client. Examples of lead management can include insurance information, email coupon codes, continued digital newsletter messages. Online leads especially need continuous management to facilitate their conversion, since the nature of online leads is that most of them are not quite ready to transact yet. They are in the initial stages of the home buying process. This is why lead incubation is important to getting the best return for your efforts. Lead incubation is the process of maintaining regular contact and seeding the lead with information to encourage action. So who are online leads? Well, without going into a lot of detail, I'm going to save that for a future webinar that really focuses on the demographics of online leads. Here's some key points for you to remember. 92% of buyers search for a home online. That is a lot. Now, Buyers will typically contact an agent and then look at about 10 homes over 10 weeks before purchasing. Prospective buyers will fill out 3 to 4 lead inquiry forms on average. Now, remember these stats. I'll bring them up again later, but these ones are super important. Now, you might find yourself wondering, well, what is the average conversion rate? The average conversion rate for online leads is 1%. But for managed leads, it can go up to 4 to 6 or even higher. Now, you might be looking at this 1% and thinking, wow, that's really low. And yeah, the reason for that is the way people contact. A lot of agents don't even reply to online leads. And of the ones that do reply, they take too long. And that is why that number is so low. Now, people who manage and incubate their leads using systems can get conversion rates 4 to 6% or even higher. Agents who do this very well achieve double-digit conversions. And leads usually convert between the second and the 12th contact attempt. Okay, so you might find yourself wondering now, how do we increase my conversion rates? Well, you need to respond quickly and don't give up. You are 100 times more likely to contact the lead if you respond within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. Now, 5 minutes optimal, but still always respond. Use scripts to speed up your response time. And I'm going to show you some examples from our 45-day online lead conversion action plan that includes prompts and scripts to help maximize your conversion potential. It includes scripts for email, text, and phone calls, as well as admin activities prompts, such as setting up your leads on auto listings. And here's a tip. Use the scripts and save them as canned responses in Gmail. I'll show you how to do this soon. Now, for persistence, follow through and don't give up. Our 45-day online lead conversion action plan provides you with prompts for 6 direct contact attempts, as well as 6 pieces of the buyer drip campaign. This totals 12 contacts. Our action plans and drip campaigns make persistence easy. Continue to contact your lead throughout the entire action plan, even if they do not respond. If they want you to stop sending them messages, they will let you know. Okay, so I said it before, but it is worth repeating. You are 100 times more likely to contact the lead if you respond within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. So I mentioned this before when I said that a lot of leads are never responded to. Can you believe that 48% of online leads are never responded to? And the ones that are responded to, the average response time is 15 hours. You're 21 times more likely to qualify a lead by responding within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. And the most likely salesperson to win business is the first person to respond. Your responses need to communicate value and demonstrate expertise because your goal is to build trust with the lead. So I'm going to show you some examples of real-life responses to leads right now. Now, here's an example of a message that a lead sent. Can someone let me know if there's an open house coming soon for this home? And the agent replied, hello, this property is conditionally sold. Take care. And another one, the lead writes, I'm interested in your listing. Is it still available? And the agent wrote back, yes, it is available. So ask yourself, do these replies communicate value to the lead? What could they have done better? Well, here's a beautiful example of a message that is communicating some value. So the lead wrote, "Hello, is the riverfront property line uh, is owned? Basement is block or concrete foundation. This property has any kind of fence, post demarcation that clearly define the property line?" And the agent writes back, "The riverfront of the property is owned. There are some old fences along the property line on the riverside that come up a ways, and some other marking to show property line, but the property is not completely fenced. The foundation is primarily block. The oldest part of the house was built on concrete and has been reinforced with block, and the newer parts are on block foundation. Let me know if you have any other questions or would like to book a showing. Have a great day." This is a wonderful first reply to the lead. It answers the lead's questions, it provides value, and it ends with a call to action, a prompt for further interaction, telling the lead, if you have other questions, I can answer them. If you'd like to book a showing, I can book that. This is a beautiful response. Okay, so you know what you're going to say. You're going to communicate with value, and I'm coming back again to speed. Online leads expect a quick response. Did you know that 70% of buyers interviewed only one agent during their home search? And you know who that one agent is? The first one they spoke with. Now, as I mentioned before, online leads will typically fill out 3 to 4 online forms. This is why you need to be the first one to respond. Okay, so I mentioned this before, tools that you can use to respond faster. The 45-day online lead conversion action plan contains scripts and daily prompts to help you respond faster. All leads you accept through Smart Leads are automatically created as contacts in your Smart Studio MyBook. And the 45-day online lead conversion action plan is automatically applied to that lead. The action plan contains online lead conversion best practices, including tasks over 45 days, as well as emails, phone, and text scripts, all of which are customizable by you. Now, if you're using another CRM, for example, Top Producer, ensure that this also has action plans with scripts that you can use to respond quickly to your leads. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can combine action plan scripts with Gmail canned responses to really increase your response time. So you can access scripts a few ways. And you can see here's an example of one of the scripts in our online action plans. So the first way you can find the scripts, and here I'm going to pull up Smart Studio right now. So here's Smart Studio. So the first way you can access the action plans is going into the campaigns area, and you can see action plans right here. And here is the 45-day online lead conversion action plan. And if I click on it and then select Edit Action Plan Tasks, here I will be able to view scripts. Now, another way that I can see a script, or another way I can see the action plan, is directly from my lead. So let me close this and let me show you what I mean. So in my book, I have some leads. And I'll show you this one, for example. So if I click on the lead name and I open it up, I'll see here I have scheduled activity. And this is the first activity from my action plan, which has been applied to my lead. To see my script, I can click on this check mark and I can view the script right here. So now this will help me if I want to pick up the phone, talk to my lead right away. Great. So now I will close this. But what I wanted to show you is how to take the scripts from the action plan and apply these into a canned response to save you some time. So I'm going back in here and I'm going to view the first, here it is, email info. So the first script is for a telephone call. Here's one for email. So I click on C script and I can see it here. There's a lot of good info. It thanks the person. It tells them where the inquiry came from. And then there are spots where you can enter your own information depending on what the lead is asking. If they're asking for a showing, if they're asking for property information, etc. So what you're going to do is you actually take this. I'm going to highlight it and then copy. And now I'm going to go into my Gmail and I will compose a message. So let me just bring this over. All right. So here's my Gmail. Now, first of all, I need to ensure that I have canned responses enabled. So if you've never heard of canned responses, hold on tight. I'm going to share some information with you about how to make them. So first you need to go into your settings of your Gmail and you just go to labs. And if they're not enabled, they might be lower on the list, but find the one called canned responses, click enable, and then save changes. All right. So now I can create my canned response based on that first email script. So I'm going to click compose and I copied it already. So now I am simply pasting it. Now, one thing to remember when you do a canned response, when you're creating one, you always need to erase your email signature. If you don't, it will double up when you actually use the message. Okay, so I can see here, I have these parts that are ones that I'm going to personalize when I actually am responding to the lead, but this is great now. And I will call it email number 1 online lead. Now I'm going to save it as a canned response. So I go up here, I go to canned response. You can see I have a lot of canned responses because I am very fond of them. So I go down where it says save, and I go down to new canned response. It will by default use the subject line that I selected for its name. And if I want, I can change it to something else, but I'm happy with it here. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'll delete this and I'll show you how I can use the canned response. So if I'm going to write my new message to my lead, I click compose. I go down here. I go canned response, insert. And I have to find it. I have a lot. Here it is. And there it is. Beautiful. Now all I have to do is personalize it with the lead name, specifics about what their inquiry was. Throw in some of my info. Throw in a link. And I'm done. That's super fast. This is going to save you so much time. So really what you should be doing is saving each one of the emails. So I'll close this now. I'm going to close this one. So I'm going to show you there's quite a few. There's an email here, and then there's other email ones as well. And even in here, you're going to see there are quite a few scripts, and you can save all of these as email canned responses. It's going to save you so much time. You won't know how you lived without them. Okay. So there we go. I showed you that. So now let's talk about persistence. And this is a great quote. I love this one. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. It's one thing to respond fast, but you need to remember to persist. Keep at it. I have heard from so many agents who have told me that online leads didn't work out because the lead didn't respond to them after the first email. Online leads will typically convert anywhere between the 2nd and 12th contact attempt. So don't give up. So here's a great little chart you should remember as you reach out to your leads. You know, from the first contact attempt, there's really only two ways a lead can go. Either they responded or they didn't respond. Now, if they responded, you should be working with them to try to refine their criteria and provide them with the information they are looking for. If they didn't respond, do not give up. You should persist through at least 5 or 6 contact attempts. Use all the contact attempts in the online action plan to help you stay in touch with the lead. Okay, so tools to help you persist and nurture your leads. So I keep talking about this action plan, and that's because I love it. It is so helpful for you. One of the steps in that action plan is to set your lead up on a drip campaign. As I mentioned before, all your leads that you accept through Smart Studio or through Smart Leads are automatically assigned an action plan, making it more simple to be persistent with your leads. Log into Smart Studio daily and look at your calendar to see your tasks. The action plan is fully customizable and can be edited as desired to fit your unique needs and style. Drip campaigns will help you maintain contact with your leads by providing them with targeted and valuable content with very little effort needed from your part. Drip campaigns in Smart Studio are also fully customizable, and you can even design your own from scratch. Now, one thing that's important to remember is all the drip emails in Smart Studio contain an unsubscribe button. So this will allow you ease of mind because you will know that if your lead doesn't want any more emails, they can simply click on a button to stop them. Here's a summary of the 11 touch points of the online lead action plan. So on day 1, you'll reply to their inquiry and ask them some questions. Day 2, you want to contact them again. Remind them of the information that you provided. Set them up to receive similar listings. Ask them for more details. Ask them to help you refine the criteria. Day 5, do the same thing. Remind them of the listing feed. Ask them for feedback. Ask them if the criteria needs further refining. Day 7, just send them a quick little check-in. It could be via text or email, just a quick, "Hi, how's it going? I'm checking in. I want to see how, I want to see how you are and if I can help you with the search more." Now, after day 14, if you still haven't had a reply, send them a message and advise them you are discontinuing sending listings as you are unsure of the value provided. This is where a lot of people, a lot of agents will get their first response because the leads won't necessarily reply to you until you're telling them that you're taking something away. So it's very common that when on day 14, the message goes out advising people that you are going to discontinue sending the listings, that is when the lead will first reply saying, "No, please keep sending me this information." But on day 14, I want you to also advise them you are going to be sending them information on the process of buying or selling a home, depending on what their specific needs are. Now, the information that you would send them would be from a drip campaign. So here's an example of our 30-day buyer drip campaign and its timing within the action plan. So the first day, they're going to get information about financing a mortgage. Then they'll get information about their needs and wants, home searching, viewing home, making an offer, and then finally on the close. Now, if after 45 days, you've made over 11 contact attempts with no responses, Now you can finally consider the lead not interested, but not before that. Okay, so I want to remind you that they may not buy this house, but they will buy a house. So when you most feel like giving up, that's when you most need to be keeping on. Never give up. So, a bit of homework for you. I would like you to review the 45-day online lead conversion action plan. Then create canned responses based on the scripts. And you know what? Personalize them a bit. Throw in some of your own wording, because you need it to sound genuine. You need it to sound like you. What else do you need to do? Well, you need to respond fast to your leads. And lastly, don't give up. Now, who can you go to for help? Well, any RLP network tools, including Smart Studio, our customer care team is here to help you. You can call them or you can email them. We also have in-person training from our learning services team. They're coming to a town near you, and their theme for the spring workshop is Convert More Leads to Sales. This is a great workshop. You are going to love it. There's so much value in it. You can find the schedule at royallepage.ca/training. And finally, there are a lot of Smart Studio tools and training available on the RLP network, some of which is under the training tab, under guides and tutorial. And then if you want to do the Smart Studio online training, we do have a 9-week program that you can find under the training tab, online training, and then Smart Studio training. Now, finally, I just want to remind you, you can do it. You can do it. So I see there's been a lot of chatting going on in the chat. I'm just going to go through them for a moment and see which ones have not been responded to yet. Okay, so just bear with me for a moment. Okay, so Mike, thank you so much. You've been doing a great job. So I see one question from Alex Rotondo. What is the average amount of leads being distributed to each agent currently? That number is it varies vastly across the country. So, each area will vary. You really need to talk to your broker or your manager to find out, what is the average for your area, because Toronto to rural Saskatchewan to New Brunswick is all going to be completely different. So I really don't have an answer for you. That's something that would need to be responded to by your broker or your manager. I see a couple people, Jennifer and Roger, are saying, well, how do we get these leads, and how do we receive smart leads? So, there's two kinds of leads that come in through the Smart Leads program. There are designated leads and there are distributed leads. Designated leads are leads from your own listing or from your own agent contact me page on royallepage.ca. And everybody is set to receive those. They'll come through the system just like I showed you before at the start of the presentation, where you receive the message and it'll say, you have a new lead opportunity, accept, decline. You push the button, there's the countdown, you say accept, and then you get all the lead information. Now, that's designated leads. For distributed leads, and distributed leads are leads from competitor listings on royallepage.ca. So, for example, Century 21, Remax listings, whatever, we have those on our site. To get those, you're going to have to talk to your manager or your broker at your office because, as I mentioned earlier, the volume and the availability varies greatly across the country. So your broker, your manager will be the one who can tell you exactly what is available in your area, and they can work with you to get you set up on receiving those leads if they are available in your area. Now, I just want you to remember that everything that I talked about today and everything that our learning team will be talking about in their spring workshop for all online leads, and or even we don't even need to just leave it at online leads, but leads in general. They need to be responded fast and they need to be nurtured and you need to persist with them. So, this isn't exclusive to the Smart Leads program. It is about any lead and the right way to respond to leads. So I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes and see if there's more questions coming in. Now, I realized that I did schedule this webinar to last until 3, but that's because I want you to ensure that you blocked some time and block some time so you can do your homework that I've given you. And that homework, once again, is go into Smart Studio, get to know the action plan, create canned responses based on those scripts, and then start responding quickly to your leads. Okay, I see another question from Deanna. And yeah, Deanna, I really can't. She's asking about receiving a referral from an agent. I really could not explain why that agent did that. That would have to be a question that you would bring up with that agent and perhaps your manager to have them explain why that is happening. Just for everybody to know, this webinar is recorded. So I see there's a question about how to view the first part. This has been recorded. You can rewind it right now if you want, but you can rewind it at any point. You can rewatch it. Yeah, right away, just as Mike said here. All right, Shanna has a good question. Is it possible to get a text for Smart Leads for 3 a.m. leads, an automated response when we accept after a certain time that we will call at 8 a.m.? Well, Shanna, I think I think I'm understanding your question is, what do you do with these 3 a.m. ones? Well, if you're awake, you accept that lead at 3 a.m. It is perfectly acceptable and wonderful to send them a quick message saying that you've received their inquiry and that you'll be giving them a call, during business hours. And, also I would include in that quick message, just ask them, is there anything else that you want to know? So in that way, when you do call them during business hours, you're going to be able to call them with all kinds of info and they will be, mind blown at how thorough you are. Okay. Erin posted a question about the areas from which she's receiving leads. Yeah, Erin, that's something definitely to discuss with your broker or manager and then have them get in touch with me because we can look at that. That's definitely something that I can work on with your broker manager. So just tell them to get in touch with me. Okay. Okay, so I don't. I'll wait another few more minutes, but I see people are having a good chat, so that's nice. But in terms of specific questions about the presentation, I believe they're winding down. So I'm just going to bring back some contact information. So I want you to jot this down, the customer care contact information. If you need help with any Smart Studio tools, get in touch with them. And then, if you have questions about Smart Leads, the best person to go to is your broker or manager. They will be able to answer everything for you because, as I said, The availability varies greatly across the country. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. This was great. You will all receive an email with a recording of this, and you know, I'll be doing another webinar coming up next month. So keep your eye out for your inbox for an invite for the next webinar about how to respond to leads. Have a great day.